see. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn off the wireframe using display. And if you don't already see your tool settings, double click on the sculpt polygon, or sorry, sculpt geometry tool. Remember, the sculpt geometry tool is hiding underneath surfaces and sculpt geometry tool, and its options right there. So underneath display, I'm going to deselect show wireframe so that way I can just see the surface. And I'm going to activate under stroke reflection and make sure the stroke is set for the x-axis. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a nose on this piece, starting with, well, actually they'll want you to adjust the radius. Actually, radius is 1, but the opacity is 0.2, so it's going to be lowered a bit. They want a lower opacity so that way it gives you control over how much of the surface you modify. So I'm just going to click a few times on the outer side. Don't worry if your model doesn't come out exactly as it appears in the instructions. That's okay. Take a look at it from the side. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. And then they'll want you to create a pair of eye sockets here. So I was using the pool setting. I'm going to use push. Push the geometry inward, or the surface material inward a bit like that. There we go. And you feel free to experiment with how much detail you wish to apply to this piece. And then after you, that's kind of ugly, let me reset that or undo that move. So after you do that, they're going to want you to add a little bit of eyebrow feature here. So I'm going to do a couple strokes across the top there. A bit too much. I'm going to reset that. There we go. Make him kind of an angry looking egghead, I guess. There we go. Okay. So if I click the regular move tool or the selection tool and I right click over it, again, this is a Nurb object, so if I go to vertex, I can then select, like say if I wanted to fine tune this and work with some of the points here, I could very easily select these points and adjust them. And the cool thing about working with the move tool is you can activate symmetry. So just like you were drawing on both sides of the x-axis, you can activate the, what is it called? You can activate symmetry using the move tool. So I'm going to double click on the move tool here. And you should see an option that says symmetry settings. Currently it's set for off, but if I select world X and I click on one side of the object, you'll see both sides have now been selected. So as I drag this bit of detail inward, you'll see it affect both sides of the object according to the axis point. So if I wanted to narrow up the nose a little bit here, bring that in, see, now both sides are affected and the detail's looking a little bit sharper there. I'm going to put a little crease in the nose right here, because suppose I could just bring those details down a bit. Try to add a little bit of a crease there. I forgot one vertex point there, and just select it and move it in like that. There we go. Well, then select the other side. I don't know why. So like I was saying, you know, experiment with the selection tools. Just make sure you save your work often, so you don't want to go too far, you know, modify it so far that you can't go back. It's always good to have multiple versions saved at the multiple versions of the document saved, so that way you mess it up and just go back and open a previously saved document. Alright. Now you will be making lips on this figure, but currently there isn't enough detail in this area right here to make a mouth. So in the next video I'll show you how to divide and separate these or add more details so you can put in a pair of lips.